Booktube, Sarah here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with my January 2018 TBR. Now normally I would only have 10 little books here to talk to you about, but today I have 19. If you watch my previous video talking about the challenges and things like that I'm going to be doing in 2018, I'm kind of broken this down by challenge, so yeah, let's jump in and get started. First off, we're going to start with the Triple RC January Challenge for 2018. And the first one is, of course, J is for January. Read a book that starts with J, or a book whose author's first or last name starts with J. And I will be reading When He Was Wicked by Julia Quinn on audio. This is book number 6 in the Bridgerton series, and it's narrated by Simon Preble. So I'm very much looking forward to this one. Audible has this book for their romance readers special service. So yeah, I'm super excited about getting to this one. The next one, now this is new. Typically what they would do was a member challenge, but now they've changed it to Olympian gods and goddesses. And for the month of January, it's Aphrodite. And she was the goddess of fertility, love, and beauty. During the Trojan War, Aphrodite fought on the side of Paris. Aphrodite and her son Eros, or Cupid, teamed up to cause Zeus to fall in love with a human named Euphoria. Read a romance with a master character, or a main character, excuse me, who is considered beautiful or handsome, or read a book with a child that is featured in the storyline. So I picked Red's Hot Cowboy by Carolyn Braun. I will be listening to this one on audio as well. It is the second book in the Spikes and Spurs series, and this is narrated by Anne Marie Lee. You guys will notice a lot more second and third and various books in a series because, as I stated in my last video, I'm trying to get through all the series that I have started. Question number 3, the featured author challenge, Loren Blakely. And I'm not reading that author because there's just, I think she does mostly like paranormal, and that's not something I'm very much interested in. No, I'm sorry, it's not paranormal. I think it's more like on the erotica side, and that's just not my cup of tea. I don't mind reading them every now and then, but not all the time. But one of the prompts was, read a book with a dog on the cover. So the book that I'm going to be reading is The Chocolate Cure by Roxanne Snopek. And this is book number 4 in the Love at the Chocolate Shop series. So I'm very excited about getting to this one. Next up is category number 4, National Hangover Day, January 1st. Shocking. Naturally followed on December 31st celebrations. Read a book where the main character has an addiction or gets drunk, or a book with a celebration in the storyline. For example, a wedding, the 4th of July, or New Year's. So I'm going to be reading Happy New Year, Baby Fortune by Leanne Banks. This is book number 1 in the Fortunes of Texas, Welcome to Horseback Hollow series. I saw that it starts off on New Year's, and I thought it fit the category perfectly. Category number 5 is Cuddle Up Day, January 6th. Read a book with 2 people touching, hands, arms, any way at all, on the cover, or a book that will leave you happy with warm fuzzies. And the book that I'm going to be reading is Discovering Pride by Jill Sanders. This is book number 2 in the Pride series, and this is narrated on audio by Tanya Ebby, so I'm looking forward to this one. And those 3 books that I've mentioned so far on audio are all available through the romance reader service on Audible. Category number 6, Male Watchers Day, January the 8th. Read a book with a cover male model, partially or wholly, exposing his body, or a book with a detective in the storyline, or a mystery book. I am going to be reading, as soon as I read this category, my immediate thought went to this book because the first book in this series, the cover was just as steamy, and that is Royally Matched by Emma Chase. This is the second book in the Royally series, and this is narrated on audio by Shane East and Andy Arnett, Ardent, I think. But yes, I read the first one later in 2017, so I'm very much looking forward to getting to this one. I think there's 3 books in this series, but I'm not absolutely certain. The next one, category number 7, Appreciate a Dragon Day, which is January 16th. Read a PNR or fantasy book, which I think is paranormal, or a book with a character who could be teamed a dragon, intimidating, gets aggressive quickly, metaphorically breathes fire, etc. And I'm fitting in my Crew of Hunters book. I did miss my Crew of Hunters book in December, I have to be honest. and that is The Forgotten by Heather Graham, book number 16 in the Crew of Hunters series, and it's narrated on audio by Phil Giante. Now, this is where the TBR gets rather large. There are 2 novellas that I need to read before other books. Now, I didn't realize when I read the last book that there was a novella that came before it. So I'm going to be reading that novella this month. Now, it is a standalone, but you guys know I like to get all my books in my series in. And that is When Irish Eyes Are Haunting, also by Heather Graham. It is book 14.5 in the Crew of Hunters series, and this one is narrated on audio by Roger Clark. This book is available from the Romance Readers group, Romance Readers on Audible, but the regular Crew of Hunters books are not. So the novellas are, the regular books are not. Category number 8. Opposites Day, January 25th. Read a book that is outside your normal reading range, a book with an enemies to lovers trope, or a book with a cover that is mainly black and white. I went with the enemies to lovers trope, and I actually searched Goodreads for a list that had that, and this book was on there, and it's one that's on my TBR, and it is Ruthless by Stuart. Again, part of the romance package on Audible, and it is the first book in the House of Rowan series, and it is narrated on audio by Susan Erickson. This is a spicy historical, looks really good. I've had it on my TBR for quite some time. The Burning Bright book that I read in December featured a story by Stuart, and I really like the writing. So this is going to be quite the different type of story, I think, but I'm very much looking forward to checking it out. Category number 9. National Corn Chip Day is January 29th. Read a book that you have been wanting to relax with, perhaps with a hot drink and a bag of chips. Or read a book with the color yellow or blue on the cover. And I went with blue. And the book that came up is I love these titles. One Good Earl Deserves a Lover by Sarah MacLean. This is the second book in the Rules of Scoundrels series. I read book number 1 last year. And it's narrated on audio by Rosalind Landor. Very much looking forward to it, and that is a gorgeous cover. And category number 10, which is Reader's Choice. Read any book of your choice. So what I did for this one, as I said, trying to get through series, is I went through all the series that I had, and I did a random number pick, and I came up with The Cat Who Turned On and Off by Lillian Jackson Braun, which is the 3rd book in the Cat Who series, and I'm going to be borrowing this book from my library on ebook. Another one of the things that I'm really trying to do in 2018 that I didn't mention in my goals video is to utilize my library as much as humanly possible. I own a lot of books, and yeah, I want to get through my TBR. I am really going to do my best that for like TBRs and stuff like that, and doing my monthly picks for reading, to, if I don't own the book, to grab it either from ebook or audiobook from my library. So the next couple books that I want to talk about are part of the What to Read in 2018 challenge from the A Million More Pages group on Goodreads. And like I said, I'm picking anywhere from 3 to 4 books. I have a lot of books on my January TBR already, so I'm only going with 3. And first one is task number 1, which is read a book off the bookshelf of a group that you are a member of. So literally I went to the RRRC group, I clicked on bookshelf, and I started going through pages and looking to see if something jumped out at me. And this book did, because I think I started reading it a number of years ago. It's free for Kindle, but I never got through it the whole way, and I don't remember why. But it's Girl with Guitar by Caisey Quinn. It's the first book in the Kylie Ryan series. And this is a young girl who is not young. I believe this book is classified as new adult, but it has an NC-17 plus rating on it. It's right there on Goodreads. Like, you can't miss it. And she's a country music singer, and I think it's about her kind of struggles and things like that. The cover is gorgeous. I'm really looking forward to this one. The next 2 books are part of the same challenge. Some of the challenges have 1 book, some have 2, some have 3. So I'm only doing 2 out of the 3 for this one. And task number 2 is click on recommendations, and it gives you the link, and read 3 books from 3 different lists. So essentially, if you click on this recommendations thing, I didn't even know this was a thing on Goodreads. And it will recommend based on different bookshelves that you've created books. So the 2, I don't remember what shelves I picked, but the first book is Talk Dirty to Me by Dakota Cassidy. This is book number 1 in the Plum Orchard series. And this series is about a group of friends who actually have like I believe it's a sex phone like operator business of some kind. So good for them for being enterprising. But it's supposed to be really good. The ratings are really good on Goodreads. Now, this is the other novella that I need to read. Coming before that book is Talk This Way, which is book 0.5 in the series. So I'll be reading that first on ebook, and then I'll be jumping to Talk Dirty to Me, which is on audio. And that is narrated, the first book is narrated by Scarlett Chase. The novella is not on audio, unfortunately. And the last book is Wanderlust by Roni Loren. This one looked really cute. The cover kind of jumped out at me. I believe that she's like a reporter and he's a musician, so it should be really good. It looked really cute. All right, next challenge is the Pick It For Me challenge that I talked about, of course, in my last video, where someone recommends books to me, and like I said, I did one choice from my TBR and one choice that they picked for me. So the category that that was from the books that were on my TBR is category number 2. It's also a great time to start something new that could lead to more new somethings. It says, recommend the first book in a series that is new to your picky. Well, the author is not new to me. I've been reading this author for years. I did an entire author spotlight on this person back in 2017, and the book is The Hostage by Susan Wiggs. This is the first book in the Great Chicago Fire trilogy, and the second book is called The Mistress. The third book is The Firebrand. It's about 3 friends, and the Chicago Fire breaks out. I think it was in the 1870s, and they end up scattering and different things happen to them, and this one is about, this cover is just stunning, and I'm really looking forward to this one. I have not read this series. I think I owned this book years ago, but I never ended up picking it up. Like, I had it in physical format. But it's not available on audio, surprisingly. So I'll be reading it, but that's absolutely fine. And the one that is a new to me book and author is for the first category, which is it's a great time to try something new. So they try and pick the categories based on what month it is and what's going on in that month. And of course, January is New Beginnings. And it says, recommend a romance book to your picky by a new to them author. And the book that she picked for me was How to Fall in Love by Cecilia Ahern. This book looked really adorable, but it sounds like it's going to be some very, what's the word I'm looking for? Harder topics. It's about a woman who finds a man who's about to jump off jump off the side of a bridge. He's going to commit suicide, essentially. And then their story goes from there. So I was able to get it from my library on ebook, so I am very much looking forward to reading it. And the next challenge is the Harlequin Romance Monthly Theme Reading Club, which I will link to in the description box below. January's theme is a cozy read-along. So essentially find a book that, you know, looks cozy or sounds like it's going to be cozy. And I went through all my Harlequin TBR list, and I came up with Kids on the Doorstep by Kimberly Van Meter. I was reading some of the quick little reviews about this, and they say this is also one with a lot of hard topics, like child abuse and things like that. So I don't know how cozy that's going to be, but the cover looks seriously cozy, so that's why I chose this one. And last but not least, my TBR jar pick. So let me explain. Going forward, I will not be picking my TBR book when I do my reads. Like, I will not actually be physically pulling this. I'll mention it in my TBR for the next month, but I won't physically be pulling it during this video normally. These are going to be my anticipated reads. So for the previous month, my anticipated reads will go into a jar, and I will pick a book for the next month. I.e. in January, I'll pick for February. But I wanted to do this in January. I didn't want to wait till February, so that's why I'm doing it now. And I looked, and in December of 2016, I had one book haul. Past Sarah didn't buy nearly as many books as present Sarah does. And that one book haul only was like Babysitter's Club books. So I went and I looked, and I had done a tag. And on this tag, I listed like 8 or 10 books. And I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them I haven't read. So I wrote them down on slips of paper, stuck them in here, and I'm going to pick one out. So I'm just going to quickly tell you the books that I had on this list. And they are a wide variety of books, guys. So the first one is Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman. Then we have The Perfect Match by Kristen Higgins. The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. Eating Animals by Jonathan Safon Foer. And On Second Thought, also by Kristen Higgins. So they're all in this jar. So we're going to do our TBR pick for January. And this is what I was talking about in one of my previous videos about if you guys wanted to buddy read this with me. If you guys want to buddy read any of these books that I've mentioned with me, please let me know in the comments below, and I am more than happy to do that. So let's reach ourselves in here. Pick out a piece of paper. I know what book I really want to read. There's a couple of them on here that I really want to read. Not that I don't want to, I want to read all of them, but a couple of them sound better than, like, I'm more excited about than others. Let's put it that way. So, let's see what it is. If I can open the piece of paper. It's upside down. Oh, yay! Practical Magic. Oh, yay! I can't wait. I've been wanting to read this book for so long. So, yes. Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman is what was picked. I believe this is available on audio. Let's have a little look-see, shall we? Let's go to Audible. Audible. Sorry, bear with. I should have maybe had this up if I was going to do this. But this is, as you guys can tell, right off the cuff. I've got absolutely no information about this. Practical. My internet is so slow. Practical Magic. It came up. Let's see. It is available on audio. Yay, and it's unabridged. I will only listen to unabridged books on audio, by the way. It's about 9 hours in length, and it's narrated by Christina Moore. So I am very excited about this. Now, there's book 0 in the Practical Magic series, The Rules of Magic. For those of you who have read it, should I be reading that one first, or can I start with Practical Magic? Let me know, please, and thank you. There it is on Audible. Yeah, so anyway, guys, that is it for my TBR. 19 books. As you heard, a lot of them are on audio, so that's cool. But yeah, I am super duper excited. So anyway, guys, let me know in the comments below if you're reading any good books in January, what your TBR is, or, you know, like I said, if you guys are interested in buddy reading any of these with me, especially Practical Magic, let me know, because I would love to do that. And until my next video, guys, take care and happy reading. Bye.